Saturday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's get started. As the investigation in the rape and murder incident continues, the Central Bureau of Investigation is set to conduct polygraph tests on Sandip Ghosh and 5 accused in connection with the rape and murder of the doctor at Arjikar Hospital. The city's court has granted permission for these tests as part of ongoing investigation that has triggered widespread public outrage and has led to prolonged strike by junior doctors. Sandip Ghosh, who was removed as principal of Arjikar Hospital following the incident, is among those who will undergo the polygraph test. The CBI has also received approval to test 4 doctors, including an intern and a civic volunteer involved with the hospital. Additionally, the prime accused, a Kolkata police civic volunteer, has been remanded to judicial custody for 14 days after completing his police custody. The tests are expected to play a pivotal role in this investigation. The Kolkata High Court has assigned the Central Bureau of Investigation to investigate alleged financial irregularities at Arjikar Medical College and Hospital, specifically during the tenure of former principal Sandip Ghosh. In fact, this decision comes after a petition from Akhtar Ali, former deputy superintendent, who sought an inquiry by ED into financial misconduct. The court's order follows concerns over the effectiveness of a state-appointed special investigation team that was handling the case. Justice Rajshri Bharadwaj directed by the Central Bureau of Investigation to submit a progress report within 3 weeks' time, with the review scheduled for 7th of September. The court has even ordered all case-related documents to be provided to the Central Bureau of Investigation by today morning. This morning, when an urgent hearing was it was an urgent hearing that was sought, which was denied by division bench that was led by Justice Harish Tandon. The CBI will also continue its ongoing investigation into not just the rape and murder of the 31-year-old, but the consequent rampage at Arjikar Hospital. The Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma addressed a recent rape case in Assam, asserting the importance of immediate government action in response to violence against women. He even criticized this West Bengal government for its delayed response to similar incidents, stating that timely measures are crucial to prevent public outrage. Himanta Biswa Sarma also highlighted that the Assam authorities acted swiftly, leading to prompt arrests of the suspects involved in this case, further emphasizing that if the government fails to take action against the culprits, citizens will likely stage protests demanding accountability and justice. Note that the Chief Minister's remarks come in light of growing concerns regarding women's safety in the state and the need for effective measures to combat such crimes. His statements reflect a broader call for vigilance and responsiveness from the state authorities to protect women and ensure justice is served.
जैसे मेरा ढींग में घटना हुआ, मैं तुरंत डीजीपी को भेजा, 2 लोगों को 2-3 घंटा में ही अरेस्ट किया, मंत्री भी उधर चला गया और आगे का भी कठोर कार्रवाई होगा ही होगा। जब ऐसा घटना होता है, सरकार को बहुत एग्रेसिव एक्शन लेना चाहिए। बंगाल में सरकार ने लिया नहीं, इसीलिए लोग नाराज हो गया।
15-year-old boy tragically drowned on a waterlogged road in Delhi's Chanakyapuri area due to incessant rainfall. In fact, the incident took place around noon while the boy was playing in the rain. According to Delhi police, the boy was caught in a strong water current while he was playing. That led to the unfortunate accident. His body was recovered some distance away from where he initially drowned. The heavy rain in the national capital at the time of the incident contributed to swift and dangerous water flow, which marked the situation as perilous. Authorities are now investigating the circumstances surrounding the accident, and this tragic event, meanwhile, has raised concerns about the safety of children during extreme weather conditions. The incident even signals importance of caution during heavy rains, especially in areas prone to flooding or rapid water accumulation. 5 labourers lost their lives when the roof of an under-construction farmhouse in Madhya Pradesh's Choral village suddenly collapsed. The workers were buried under the debris when the roof caved in. The farmhouse was being built in Gaulipura within the Simrol police station area. Local authorities and rescue teams rushed to the scene, but unfortunately the workers could not be saved. The incident further reflected the dangers faced by the labourers in construction sites, particularly in rural areas where safety measures may be less stringent. Investigation is ongoing to determine the cause of the collapse and whether property construction protocols were followed. The tragic event has brought to light the urgent need for stricter safety regulations and oversight in construction projects to the authorities' attention. And here's a look at top business stories that we're tracking this Saturday morning. Indian markets regulator SEBI has barred industrialist Anil Ambani and 24 others from securities market for 5 years' time. This follows diversion of funds from Reliance Home Finance. Ambani has also been fined 25 crores and cannot serve as director of key managerial personnel in any listed company during this period. Reliance Home Finance has been barred from the market for 6 months and fined 6 lakh as well. Food delivery giant Swiggy, backed by SoftBank, is preparing for an IPO. The company targets a valuation of $15 billion, which is aimed to raise $1 to $1.2 billion. This would be one of the largest IPOs this year. Swiggy, a major player in India's food delivery sector, received shareholders' approval in the month of April for this move. The official filing is expected in the next few weeks. The Indian government may retract its demand for Infosys to pay $4 billion in back taxes. This follows weeks of lobbying by the IT giant and industry criticism as well. The tax notice, which involved GST on overseas operations which date back to 2017, the finance ministry now believes taxing services exports goes against India's tax principles. Meanwhile, Nifty and Sensex have bounced back from their recent losses. Global markets are also stabilizing, with Goldman Sachs lowering the chance of a US recession by 20%. Founder of Helios strategic fund, Samir Arora, shared insights on what's driving the Indian markets. Not just that, the outlook for the coming months appears positive. Chief economist at the World Trade Organization discussed India's trade potential amidst global tensions. He emphasized India's advantage in de-risking the supply chain from China. Despite challenges like pandemic and geopolitical issues, he believes that global trade still remains resilient. India is expected to benefit from shifting supply chains. And let's now take a look at global stories that we are tracking with elections in the US slated for the month of November. Let's also get you highlights of all that's making news from the US as the presidential race heats up. US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin welcomed Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh to the Pentagon for bilateral talks focused on enhancing the major defense partnership between the two nations. Austin commended the progress in defense cooperation between the two countries, noting increased operational collaboration and the complexity of joint exercises as well, which included India's participation in the RIMPAC exercise in Hawaii. Rajnath Singh affirmed the partnership's vibrancy and growing confidence in shared strategic interests as well. This meeting coincided with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Ukraine and the meet that he held with President Zelensky, where Prime Minister Modi offered India's support for peace in Ukraine. The leaders focused on Ukraine's peace formula, emphasizing territorial integrity and troop withdrawal from the region. During his visit to Washington, Rajnath Singh, meanwhile, is scheduled to meet with US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan to further strengthen the ties.
Secretary Austin, it is great pleasure to meet you again. I recall without warmth your visit to India in June and November last year. India and the US enjoy a comprehensive global strategic partnership covering almost all areas of human endeavor. This is driven by shared democratic values, convergence of interests on a range of issues, and vibrant people-to-people contact. Excellency, our bilateral relationship has also seen a growing convergence of strategic interests and enhanced defense, security, and industrial cooperation. Secretary Austin, our leaders share an excellent rapport and are working together on several global issues, apart from the vast and growing bilateral agenda.
Ukraine President Zelensky expressed concerns over India's ongoing oil deals with Russia, stating that while Ukraine aims to provide alternatives, it cannot compel India to change its course. Following Prime Minister Narendra Modi's historic visit to Ukraine, Zelensky even emphasized the importance of milestone in bilateral ties and highlighted areas of cooperation such as agriculture and technology, further pointing out India's significant role in Russia's economy, noting that its involvement aids the Russian government and complicates efforts to counter Russian aggression. Zelensky even contrasted Modi's peace advocacy with Russian president's continued attacks on Ukraine, urging India to recognize the broader implications of the conflict and the potential to influence Russia's actions, further reiterating Ukraine's commitment to supporting nations facing territorial threats, underscoring the need for international solidarity against aggression. Meanwhile, there was an announcement on suspending the independent presidential campaign and plans to remove his name from the ballot in battleground states. Addressing, he explained the continued presence in the race that could inadvertently benefit the Democratic nominee Kamala Harris. During his campaign in Las Vegas on Friday, Donald Trump expressed gratitude for the endorsement by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which he plans to discuss further at an upcoming rally in Arizona. Trump praised Kennedy, calling him a great guy, respected by many. Earlier in Arizona, Kennedy announced the suspension of his independent presidential campaign and his decision to back Donald Trump, citing internal polls that showed his candidacy would likely aid Democratic nominee Kamala Harris at Trump's expense. Kennedy even highlighted issues like free speech, war in Ukraine, and a war on children as key lessons for his withdrawal. Although Kennedy has not formally ended his bid, he urged supporters to back him in states where his presence won't affect the election outcome. Trump's campaign even hinted at a special guest appearance at his Glendale rally, but neither campaign confirmed if Kennedy would attend.
Endorsement from RFK Jr., Bobby. And I'll be talking about that. We're heading out right after this. We're going to be going to Arizona. We'll be talking about that and a lot of other things too. But I just want to thank everybody. And I want to thank Bobby. That was very nice. That was really very nice. That's big. He's a great guy, respected by everybody.
Mexico has issued a diplomatic note protesting U.S. interference after Ambassador Ken Salazar criticized a proposed judicial overhaul that would require judges to stand for election. President Manuel Lopez labeled the comments as disrespectful to our national sovereignty and asserted that the interface in internal affairs proposing changes pose a risk to Mexico's democracy and threaten the long-standing commercial relationship between the two nations. Critics of the overhaul argue that it aims to undermine judicial independence, with proposal already leading to a decline in Mexico peso and prompting Morgan Stanley to downgrade investment recommendations for the country. The proposed measures would allow virtually anyone with law degree to become a judge through popular vote, raising concerns about potential for politically biased judicial appointments. In Peru, a teachers' union has initiated nationwide hunger strike to highlight a crisis in the education system. The strike, organized by the National Assembly of the Union, of education workers of Peru began in central Lima, where at least 12 teachers set up mattresses to demonstrate their commitment to work. They are demanding the government ensure quality education and labor rights as well. The teacher expressed that hunger strike follows years of struggles for better conditions. Additionally, SUTEP has been calling for 6% of the country's GDP to be allocated to education as outlined in the constitution and supported by international bodies like United Nations. An attack at a festival in western Germany's Solingen has resulted in multiple casualties, according to reports. The incident occurred during a celebration which marked the city's 650th anniversary. Reports suggest that weapon used may have been a knife, though details on the number of killed and injured still remains unclear. Authorities have not yet made any arrests, and the situation is still developing. The festival, intended to run through Sunday, has been overshadowed by a tragic event. Pakistan has brought home bodies of 28 Shiite pilgrims who were killed in a bus crash in Iran that was en route Iraq for a pilgrimage. A Pakistan military aircraft also returned 23 injured pilgrims. The crash occurred near Iran as the pilgrims were heading to Karbala to observe Arbian. Officials in Iran handed over the bodies to Pak diplomats with prayers held in both countries. The victims from Sindh province were received in Jakodabad, where their coffins were handed over to relatives for burial. Hundreds of thousands of pilgrims were seen arriving in Iraq ahead of Arbain, recognized as one of the largest annual public gatherings globally. The significant event commemorates the event of a 40-day mourning period following the killing of Imam Hussein, the grandson of Prophet Muhammad, during a pivotal battle in 680 AD, which deepened the division between Shiites and Sunnis. Traditionally, the pilgrims walk for a day or longer to reach Karbala, where they chant and march around the shrine of Imam Hussein. Welcome back. You're watching Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's get started with the headlines that we're tracking from the world of sports. Italian tennis player Jannik Sinner has dismissed his fitness trainer and psychotherapist after testing positive for steroids in March, a case that has since been cleared. Sinner, speaking at his pre-US Open press conference, admitted that the situation was stressful despite his confidence in his innocence. Sinner, the top seed, will face Mackie McDonald in the first round that will take place on Tuesday. Al Ahly started their Saudi Pro League campaign with a solid 2-0 victory over Al Abruba, goals by Daltrey and captain Roberto Firmino, ensuring a comfortable win for coach, as AI Abruba posed little threat throughout the match. Golfer Nelly Korda surged into the lead during the second round of Women's Open Championship at St Andrews, Scotland. Korda finished the day 8 under par, 3 shots ahead of Charlie Hull, that ended 4 under, while amateur golfers were also impressed with the match. Tennis player Carlos Alcaraz returned to practice early as he's preparing himself for the US Open 2024. The Spaniard, seeded number 1, will now face New Zealand opponent on Tuesday in the match. The tournament begins on Monday and concludes on 8th of September. Belgian racer and cyclist Wout van Aert secured his second stage win at this year's Spanish Volta in Stage 7. The Belgian cyclist completed the 180-kilometer route in 4 hours 15 minutes time, with Matthews Vakic finishing second. Ben O'Connor maintained his overall lead 4 minutes and 45 seconds ahead of 3-time winner Primož Roglic. Abdul Salim Mohammad scored in the 90+9 minute to secure a dramatic 2-2 draw for his team, denying AI Vassal a winning start to the 2024-25 UAE Pro League season. Al Vassal took the lead twice with Fabio Lima's goals, but Mohammad's late header earned the home team a point. And those were our top sports stories. Let's now get you all the stories that are making news from the world of entertainment. In August 1960, the Jakarta Club in Liverpool witnessed John Lennon, Paul McCartney and George Harrison's first performance as the Beatles. On Friday, the venue unveiled a World Origin Site historical plaque to commemorate this event. World Origin Site recognizes locations worldwide when groundbreaking events occurred, joining other notable sites like first rocket launch. The ceremony included live music, highlighting the club's ongoing tradition of nightly performances. Taylor Swift has unveiled a new music video for I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, showcasing behind-the-scenes moments from her record-breaking Eras tour, marking the conclusion of its final European leg. The video features rehearsal footage and Swift using an understage transport system during performances. This release follows a statement regarding the cancellation of her Vienna concerts amid a foiled terror plot. Swift expressed her devastation over the cancellations, emphasizing the fear and guilt she felt knowing many fans planned to attend. She thanked authorities for preventing a tragedy. Following the incident, Swift remained silent on social media, prioritizing the safety of her fans throughout the European tour. Costume designer Alex Friedberg reveals that color played a crucial role in shaping the visual aesthetic of Palm Royal, set in glorious 1960s Florida Country Club. With a focus on bright pastels and designer outfits, the show encapsulates a world of privilege and leisure. Friedberg blends 40% vintage pieces with original designs.
About, I would say, including the background, I think it was like a 40% vintage and 60% build. So we were able to find a lot of really incredible, well-preserved vintage couture pieces. People, it's such a craze right now that I think there's a lot of vendors that are really taking great care to preserve designer vintage pieces. So we were able to really get some incredible original pieces in the show.
Costume designer Karen Muller expressed her enthusiasm for working in series The New Look, which explores the contrasting worlds of high fashion in Paris and the grim realities of concentration camps during World War II. The series even highlights designers Christian Dior and Coco Chanel as they navigate personal and professional challenges amid Nazi occupation.
Very important that those dresses were identical to the dresses that Dior made. I wasn't going to play around with something that he created. I mean, other things I played, the Chanel's were, they were inspirational and things, but those dresses, I wanted them to be absolutely as near as we could possibly get to the real thing.
And for now, it's a wrap on this edition. When we come back, we'll continue with all that's making news and headlines from across the country and the globe.